Very well. So, why do you need UBA Africard for online business? Yes. So, I've done a few videos on UBA Africard, and I still think it's one of the best prepaid cards, Visa cards that can be very beneficial, especially on the internet. So, when you go into UBA's internet banking platform in Ghana, you navigate into the cards. You see these cards as um, their prepaid cards for customers. They have the MasterCard Platinum. I have not used this one before. I'm yet to. They have the UBA Visa and MasterCard's debit cards. Okay, so they are all debit cards. So the Africard will fall into this category, or UBA Visa prepaid card. The Africard is also a prepaid card, but not a MasterCard. So it will rather fall into this last category here. So how do you get this card? This card cannot be obtained online. You have to go to a UBA bank premises. You go to the any branch closer to you. You ask them you want a prepaid card, an Africa to be precise. So as mentioned here, when you say you want a debit card, it could be a MasterCard or any other card. They are all debit cards. So you mentioned Africard specifically. Why do you need the Africard? The Africard is a prepaid card, and the concept behind prepaid cards is that it's normally not linked to any bank account. That is the leverage you have with prepaid cards. So with normal MasterCards and ATM cards, it's normally linked to your bank account with the bank. So what they do is that whenever you want to do a transaction, the withdrawals or deposits affect your main bank account. But with a prepaid card, you may not even have an account with the bank, but the transaction would always go through because you have money on the card. So it's either you have money on the card or not. If your card is hacked, nobody gets to find monies back in your account. Everything is on the card. You only lose the money on the card. And I barely see prepaid cards manipulated or hacked. So that's one of the leverages you have with prepaid cards. And one other aspect is that um, it's quite dangerous working online, especially if you have not so much experience. If you don't have a lot of experience online, you leave a lot of traces of your card details online that could affect you. So with a prepaid card, you reduce that risk because there are no traces back to your main bank account. So normally, rational human beings, we have a lot of money on or in our bank account sitting in there. So if you link any card to it and the card, someone gets hold of the card, he gets into your main bank account where you have so much in there and they can do anything with the account. But with my experience, it's not really a matter you should think of. It barely happens. It barely happens. But just to be on the side of safety, I prefer a prepaid card, especially working online for the first time or if you've not done it before. So that is one of the best things the Africard can do for you. And it is also very robust because it's been around for some time. And I remember recommending this a couple of years ago, and it's still one of the best. So why wouldn't you go with the old good wine? Would you prefer the old wine or a new wine? It has stood the test of time. That is one other benefit of the Africard. So you can always get the Africard at your premises. The issue with the card is that people find it difficult. That is with my experience. After acquiring the card, how to use the card. Please ask the vendor or the personnel there to help you out. don't ask me online. If you ask me online, I will only give you information I have. But if you have any questions, ask the personnel. They may presume, if you come there to ask for a specific card, they may presume you know about the card and they may not tell you more. Ask more questions. Tell them you don't know anything about the card. You want to get to know about the card. So with this card, you have to activate it since it's not linked to any bank account. After activating, you would have to fund the card because now everything is on the card. Then you start using the card. You can also have an online portal that you can use with the card. So all of this need to be elaborated clearly to you. Other than that, you would have issues using the card moving forward. Now, I've mentioned that it's not linked to any bank accounts, which is true. But normally what the banks do now, and I think UBA is also doing the same, is that if you come for a prepaid or any card, they would want you to create a bank account. So that is a marketing strategy. They have personnel there for you to to persuade you to create a bank account. If you act so needy, then they'll force you to create a bank account, which you may not need. I don't find it an issue with creating a bank account, but if you have created a lot of bank accounts, you know that sometimes it's not very necessary. I lately went to EcoBank to take money for, I think, RIA or one of these money transfers. They only exist in EcoBank if you want to withdraw those funds from money transfer companies. And this woman said they because of COVID, they put the money on a prepaid card. So I should get a prepaid card. I said, Master, I don't actually need another prepaid card, especially from them. Those people, they have dealt with me before, so I don't really need a card. In fact, that is one way they want to create a cashless society or economy. It's one way they want to relieve all of us of the liquid cash. It's a good idea, but I don't think they should shove it at your neck. You have to get a card. No, I don't think that is the best option. If you want it, why not? But they will always persuade you to, at times, even almost threatening you that you cannot get a card. If they say no, go to another bank. There are prepaid cards almost with every bank. And prepaid cards shouldn't be linked to a bank account. I recommend you to create a bank account with UBA. They are great, especially with the African market and online business. They are great. Until now, I think they are the only people I have an account with that I have linked to an online business that I deal with. So it's always advisable. I recommend you can create a bank account with UBA if you want to. So that is the Africard. It's very, very robust. I love it. I still use it until I also got this MasterCard. So this MasterCard is also a debit card, but this one is not prepaid. You don't have to pay money into this MasterCard. This is linked to a bank account I have with them. And it's also great. And up until now, I've been using the two cards. Using the MasterCard lately is also perfect. I love that one as well. I've not used the MasterCard Platinum yet, but I think that would also have its own benefits and its own advantages. Now, I have used Africard on Amazon. I have used it on PayPal and a few other platforms, and it's seamless. You put it in there and it's in there. They have created that account for online business people, so it works. When no card was working on PayPal, Africard would work on PayPal. Amazon was rejecting almost every card from outside of the world, but this card will always go through. So I think that is what makes this card robust. It can be compared to other banks prepaid cards. Some are doing good now, but I've used this for some time and I prefer this one until I start using any other card. So that is with Africard. This is how it looks like. So when you type UBA Africard into Google, that is how you should manage this card. Into Google, the first search result is the gtpsecurecard.com. So this is basically the main website for this card. As I said, you have to activate this card first. You go to the ATM. The personnel should help you out. You go to ATM. As you get the card, they have an envelope they give you with a letter or information as to how to activate the card. You put the card in there, you change the PIN code, and then the card is activated. The steps are on the paper in the envelope. You do same online. I think they have this link in there. This is almost the main website. You go in there. I've been using it for some time. It's gtpsecurecard.com. That is the main website. So this is the page, or the front page of the gtpsecurecard.com login. You put in the username you created with the web portal they have on the sheet in the envelope. You do all of that with the instructions on the paper. Let a personnel help you out. You shouldn't try to, because there are 2 or 3 ways you can do this. They have the ATM way and they also have the web portal way. So you create all of this information with the instruction they give you. So I'll log in into my account to show you. I've not been using the card for some time now. I think I have some transaction we didn't go through. I barely have anything on the card. So this is what I said. So with this card, you don't have to put so much money on it if you are scared. That is funny. If you are scared of losing money, which I've not even lost anything on online with security issues, related to security issues, but it's possible. So if you want to buy something which is worth 200 cedis, you put 250 cedis on it. So when you buy whatever you want to buy, the rest is not that much. So you're not scared to lose so much. I have 62 cedis on the card now. So if I want to buy something which is worth 1,000 cedis, I only put 1,000 cedis on the card. I don't have to withdraw 1,000 cedis directly from my bank account through either Momo or any other internet banking, where you leave traces behind you that people can find and go in there. So that is the advantage I have with the card. All the purchases will be done. You have your statement and everything in here. They have this is a Visa card. So if you have any questions, you contact them. The card is very useful and I really enjoy it. On PayPal, it's seamless. You add the card anytime, anywhere. It's great. Amazon and all the other platforms. So when you're ready to fund the card, then when you get the card, they will want you to fund the card. But it's in your own discretion when you want to fund the card. Funding the card is as easy as depositing money into your bank account. When you want to deposit money into your bank account, what you do is you find a deposit slip, you put the amount on the card, the account name, account details. So your account details will be your card details. You put in there, you put the amount you want to deposit, and the charges is just about 2 cedis or so. They have management charges that will be going in there, but it's always with every bank. So whenever you do a transaction, I think there are some there are not charges related to the transactions you do, but with interbanks and online transactions, exchange rate and other charges come in. So you expect those charges, but normally, as you see here, there is a quarterly maintenance fee here September 25th, which is just about 3 cities or so. Yes, that's a quarterly, but you're not really charged for deposit money onto the card, especially no for using the card. What you do is that whenever you are depositing money, they'll deduct the 2 cities. That is all. With some other prepaid cards, every transaction you do, you have transactional charges. Every transaction, you do 10 transactions, you have 10 transactional charges. So that's the difference between the others and this card. It's not a perfect card, just like any other product, but it's a great product as compared to the others, and I prefer this one to almost all the cards that I've used previously. So when I go into the images, this is how the card looks like. UBA Africard. Yeah, UBA Africard. UBA Africard. Yes, that's how the card looks like. So it's a great card. Enjoy your card if you have gotten yours. If you've not gotten yours, go find one and use it to your benefit online. Have a nice day. And with this, I wish you well. See you on the other side.